Sometimes we deal with people we don't want to deal with.
Man,
Oh God.
wish I could run that back like a DJ.
Guess what
right
I say
there.
to him? Baby, tell me what you want from a nigga. You used to love me, now you see what's going on with a nigga. I never feeling like you want to see me down bad, don't want to see me on with my niggas.
I am not perfect. No one on this earth is my bitch, I'm worth it. My son in my life, you becoming my wife.
Y'all want to take this quick shot real quick?
Girl, I showed you love from the get-go. Had hope, but told the bitches to get go. Like I got something you can't go. Girl, I'm just tired of getting flipped on. Me and you always been part of the plan. Just act like a woman, let me be a man. Girl, I'm just saying.
Yo. Yes, sir, we back with another episode, man. With the gang, 9 to 5 crew, man. Luke in here.
What up?
Chaz in here. Steve in here.
Yeah.
Man, this episode, man, we gonna get into mental health, man, for Mental Health Awareness Month.
Yup. Yes.
Of what, May?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
That's how we gonna wrap it up.
That's how we gonna start off with this episode. But before we do that, man, who was that song of the week by?
That was Big Vern, Motions.
Motions.
Sir.
Now, my first question with this mental health was because it's really a sensitive topic. Do you think society is putting a blanket on mental health
I do with the youth.
with the youth? Because that's how I feel.
I think they put a blanket on it for the youth.
They using it as a blanket?
Yes.
I think they when I say blanket, like I feel like they over categorize it.
That's the go-to. They're using it to cover up a lot of stuff.
They don't
Yeah.
even know
Yeah.
what the definition is. And we
Or-
using it in NBA and to get away with whatever. And kids is like 10 years old, 9 years old, saying they need a mental health day at
Yeah.
home. You know what I mean? So it could be real, but I feel like some people are using it. If people don't have those discussions, if a kid tell you they need a mental health day, you tell them why. If they can't, they just be like, I'm just tired. That ain't a mental health day.
That's a problem.
What you said, I think it come down to the discussion.
The discussion.
Like that's where you really need to have the conversation. If somebody does bring that up, where it's like, okay, what's the issue? Like, let's talk about it. Let's see what's really going on, because some people really do go through it, and then some people just try and use it as an excuse.
Right.
So then you got to know when to take it
as
serious.
like a cover up.
Because
For the
suicide
bullshit that they doing.
Suicide for younger kids, like I don't think I really seen it that much growing up, but now with the internet, I think it is taking mental health. What we used to call bullying is just like now they bullying on their mental health to the point where kids feel like they can't even handle it, and they want to miss school.
Yep.
And say it's a mental health day, but we don't know because we don't even know you getting bullied in school unless we talking. But where does that start? Does that start at home or does that start at school? Because for me growing up, it started at home.
Yeah,
I think
like
it can be social media and everything can play a big part with that too. But I think like suicide, a lot of that shit happen because people don't be believing their kids or believing the shit that people be telling them.
Or their friends or family.
So people like once people ignore it, like it's just a lot of shit that build up and motherfuckers can't take it no more. So they just do what they feel like the best thing to do.
Or mostly it's signs.
Mm-hmm.
Because people, it's more of a embarrassment to some people, fathers, mothers, to say, my child got a problem, instead of just working through that problem.
Well, we all got young kids. What do you think a sign is? Because I feel like as a kid, when they become like a teenager, they kind of stay in their room more off to themselves. Is that something we not paying attention to?
That's where it get tough, because it's like when we was teenagers, we became antisocial to our parents.
For sure.
But then it's like now with everything going on, you got to kind of pay a little bit more attention to it. But like I feel like if the signs did come a little bit early, like you hear younger kids, younger than teenagers, saying stuff like that, like I don't think I want to be here, or stuff like that. Like, so I just feel like you got to give your kids space, but you still got to give them the attention and still listen. Because I feel like that's what our generation really didn't have. Like, I feel like our parents didn't really give us a voice when they said something, it was like what they say goes.
I'm gonna tell you another
like
thing.
it
I
like
think
that.
with our generation, we was able to actually have fun. Like we was able to go outside, have fun, play.
Now you
Physical
gotta,
fun.
Nowadays, motherfuckers just in the house. Like
Yup.
but at the same time, as a parent, you don't want to sit outside and watch your kid play the whole for hours.
don't.
Because I used to be
our parents
outside
used
for
to not have
hours
to.
We used
running the neighborhood, but it's so many like
There's so
kidnappings
much crazy
and
stuff going
Yup.
on.
so many weird men, like especially having a daughter having,
Even
I
weird
wouldn't even
kids
let her
they
catch the
age.
bus by herself.
Yeah,
It's
like it's
never
kids
happening.
that's weird. That's other kids' age that's doing stuff to other kids.
I say that all the time. Like kids nowadays, like it's like the streets is dangerous. So like we was able to just go outside. But I remember I used to be outside all night.
Yeah,
Like I ain't never used to want to come in the house. Now kids don't even want to go outside. Motherfuckers just want to sit in the house, play the game, like be on the internet. Like and a lot of that stuff come from that, bro. Like
Only thing that's what they want. I just think that's what they adjusted to because
Accustomed to.
yeah, like it just wasn't me growing up. Like my daughter never experienced running through somebody's yard to get to the next street. You know what I mean? Like or,
Jumping the gate.
yeah, you ain't gonna never experience
none of my
that
kids have.
type of fun. Like
Yeah.
they just gonna know TikTok.
TikTok.
Like
That's
and
crazy.
meeting people online. That's the thing. Motherfucker be meeting different people online. You don't know who
Yeah.
you be meeting. You on these games with people.
Yeah,
Like
but then even at a young age, these kids are looking at other people's success and measuring themselves at an early age and feeling like they falling
so
short.
is that our fault as parents though? Because I'd get my daughter out, but I'd go to Kings
don't-
Island for a couple hours. I want to go in the house.
I ain't gonna say it's our fault because I mean that's just what they see. So if they see like a lot of these celebrities and stuff like that online, like that's what they gonna get accustomed to and that's what they gonna want. Like and a lot of that stuff ain't everyday life, normal life. Like
Yeah.
so they start doing whatever they can do like to get to that point.
But
And
then when
that's-
they see what the celebrities or people on TikTok got going, I feel like it makes people measure their shortcomings.
That's
But it's
that's a
us-
fact. The internet definitely doing it because by the time my daughter get the prom, spend like $10,000 to try to make
Yeah,
her
it's
stay
gonna
up
be like a
for everybody else.
It's
But
gonna
it
be like
started
a wedding.
at
It's gonna be
Lambos
like you
and-
paying for a wedding.
It started at home. It takes us to explain that to them.
But you don't want your kid to feel left out. All the other kids got this.
Nah, it's a thing when you explain. Like, okay,
but
I
that's
knew
where
not to-
depression come from.
yeah,
They feeling
It-
left out.
it
So
can.
then
I
we
mean,
feel like we
everybody
gotta
everybody
stay with
different.
everybody.
But if you like, I trusted in my mom to tell me everything that was right. That I thought she was right about everything at a young age. So if she told me that route, like that ain't the way to go, or I believe that. I feel like we disconnect from our children in the early age because of social media and because of sitting in a room when you supposed to be active.
I definitely think it's social media because, like me growing up, I ain't never really know I was like, I had a single mom, one household, so I ain't feel like we ain't had no money. I felt that was regular.
Right.
Yeah.
Never felt no different. I never had the internet to look on there and be like, man, this kid got this, got that.
Right.
Like, and then go to my mom and she like, that could stress her out to put her in the mental,
Right.
because I'm feeling some type of way.
But you know what though? I feel like as parents, our job now that our parents didn't have, like I just feel like we gotta adjust to what they have. So like I try to embrace like the social media as much as possible, without overdoing it and like without like overindulging, because it's like I know my kids gonna be on social media, TikTok, YouTube, stuff like that. So
It
I
got
use
pros
that as
and
a way.
cons.
Yeah, I use it as a way to kind of interact with my kids, like especially like with my son. We send a lot of basketball clips to each other, like stuff like that, or like funny stuff, like even like with my girls, like we send more of the funny stuff. But then at the same time, it's like if we in the car and I hear something
that
that they're not supposed to be hearing,
right.
I'm gonna nip
Just
it in
put
the
a
butt
stop
right
it,
there.
yeah.
Like, hey, listen, this is what's going on with that. Like,
Because our
You shouldn't
parents
even be
did do
listening
that.
to
They
that.
said like, quit
Right.
being on that game, go outside.
Yeah.
All the time.
Which, in a way, I ain't gonna say it hurt us, but we could have been a graphic designer, make the next Nintendo.
That's
Like,
true.
so it's ways you can look at it with its pros and cons.
yeah.
But you gotta think, going outside, bro, you learned a lot of stuff though.
Learned a
You did?
lot of stuff outside.
So is the internet mentally messing with our kids? Is that why there's a lot more suicides in young kids?
I think in people in general.
I think I could definitely say in people.
Yeah, I don't think
like,
it ain't just kids. I
Yeah,
think
But
it's
that's where it starts.
yeah.
That's
definitely
definitely
where
where
it
it starts. But I feel like the internet does play a big part in going back to like mental health, depression, like stuff like that. I feel like a lot of that does play a part.
But like Steve said, it start at home, and you just gotta put that trust into your kid, like, and you gotta
Be
just,
there.
You gotta just explain to them like what's right and what's wrong. They gotta know what's right and what's wrong. Like,
It
Yes.
don't cost nothing to be there.
Well, with y'all all got sons. So does it change how you parent your son? Because me growing up, if I fail, my mom be like, "Get up, you all right? What you crying for? Toughen up."
Yeah.
I still feel like that.
I'm still like
Like,
that.
I don't feel like that's
I
wrong.
think
Only
but
that's
because
just
that's
installed in-
how I was raised, and that's how I grew up. Like,
it made you tough.
when my girl be on all that, like, I don't be on that, like, bro, stop babying him like he a boy. Like,
Yep.
See,
I
but
feel like
Because
that's
it's
some of
gonna
the
hurt
old
him in the
school-
long run.
But
Yeah,
I feel like
that's
but
the
that's some of the
difference.
that's the old school parenting that I feel like our generation has to
that was great.
not let, like, I feel like we can't, like, we got to keep that going, like keep
Yeah.
that bridge going as far as instilling stuff like that, especially into the boys, because it's like a lot of stuff like we kind of soften up on, like as far as like society and what you're allowed to do, what you're not allowed to do, but like a lot of stuff like that, I feel like especially the boys, like they need that, because it's like
Because life is the toughest
we
task.
gonna run out of alpha males, like we
Right.
gonna run out of dominant males, like
I do that to my daughter because I feel like she has to have some type of toughness to her. But then there'd be other times where, like, I remember one time we was doing homework, and like I kind of got frustrated. I'm like, how you keep not understanding
you told us
what
that.
I'm saying? And then like she
You're
looked
mad.
at me. You get a little frustrated. Like, come on now, we been here an hour. And she looked at me and she say, I'm doing the best I can.
whew, that'll eat you up, that'll kill you.
My mom was like, you crying? Man, I was. It was like,
Nah.
sometimes you forget you got to, she's still a girl. You got to be that sensitive.
Yeah, you do.
But you also trying to make her tough. And you don't want her to fall behind. So you trying to make
Yeah.
sure she above where she supposed to be. But it's like,
but
it's like, you
I
got to,
feel you,
trying to
bruh.
find that balance of parenting is tough. I don't want to mess with her mental, but I want her mentally strong.
But
Right.
you know what that is though? That's like when you realize, like, as a single parent, sometimes you got to play both roles. Like,
Dude, like my mom
like,
played both roles
yeah,
and made it seem so easy that I didn't really
Understand,
miss a dad.
yeah.
I ain't
But
like
yeah.
I want like, man, where my
So
dad
for
at?
with a woman, a single parent as a woman, like with a boy, I think it's different though. Like,
Yeah.
because women gonna yell at your ass.
Yeah.
She gotta
for
make you
sure.
tough.
Like,
yeah.
like, and they ain't gonna feel bad at all. Like,
Right.
but like with
'Cause
little
they
boys,
know what it
I think you
for this
gotta,
life.
you can't be like super like soft with them, like,
Nah.
because the way this generation is, man, it's like,
But that's why I feel like it takes a village to raise a kid, because you can be the, yell at father, but your mama come into play. My mama come into play. Your
Yeah.
friends come into play. That's why all y'all can yell at my kids and they know.
But
It
it-
might be a time where they call Uncle Luke like, oh, I done messed up.
Yeah.
I need him to be there.
They gotta have
Yeah.
somebody they can
But, like,
run
Yeah,
and
but
gotta
talk
have
to.
somebody
that's where your
they can
That's
environment.
real.
That's
That's what I was
where
about
your
to say.
environment come in.
like when we was growing up, bro, like I knew all my neighbors and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
like me now, bro, I done lived here for 6, 7 years, bro. I barely know anybody who live around here, bro.
And that's just the way the world is now.
Like, I barely know any of them.
Cause me growing up, that was my outlet was my uncles. Like, I was more scared of my mom than my uncles. Like, I can go to my uncles
yeah.
and they be like, yeah, you was dead wrong.
They gonna understand.
And they hit you with a jab, like, but I
Yeah.
got you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna protect you. We gonna
Right.
figure this
Yeah.
out.
And you used to be able to call people like, man, if you see my kid outside, like, look out for him. Da, da, da.
Yeah.
Nowadays,
world
bro, we
changed.
used to have sleepovers over people's house, bro. Motherfuckers so crazy.
Neighbor
Now you
used
down there
to
don't
tell
want-
on me.
You down there don't even want your kid going over other people's house, like,
Bruh,
'Cause
if
it's
it ain't
scary.
if it ain't like people in my close circle, I don't want my kids around them. Like, I prefer everybody. Like, if you're not in my circle, bring the kids over here. We're gonna have a sleepover because I need to monitor what's going on with the kids, what's going on with my kids.
Yeah.
Because these days you don't know
What people
who's
doing in their household.
what they do in their household. You
That's
don't
the-
know.
That's the
even
problem.
even with you, Luke. So you got a son that's you there every day, but at some point at the age he at, and how you got to travel on the team, he gonna be influenced by them other kids,
I'm noticing it now.
and then you got to be still mentally strong without mentally breaking him.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
And
That
then-
makes sense.
tough.
But
Yeah,
and then you don't want to have your kid feeling like you holding them like from doing stuff too.
Right.
Yeah.
So like I be wanting Caden to feel like he can go do stuff like and ask to do stuff
And talk
without
to
me
you.
being like, nah, man, like I don't. So I try to let him do as much stuff as he want to do, like, but I just tell him like, bro, you got to just keep it real with me at all times,
Yep.
like.
I feel like they at an age because they both the same age. So I feel like they just at an age like where it's like
You just need
you
that
really
relationship.
you got to have the relationship and you got to have the open communication on both ends where it's like I need you to talk to me, like let me know if something going on, because they get into the age where they, like we said,
See,
they don't
They
really want
seeing
to
a lot,
communicate.
understanding a
the,
lot.
Yeah, and
that's
they
the part
taking
y'all
it a
gotta
lot.
be scared of, because
Yeah.
if y'all over punish them, they gonna be too scared to talk to y'all.
Yeah.
So they gonna hide stuff from y'all, and then
They
y'all
do-
not even
yeah.
gonna know what's going on. And then next thing you know, they gonna be mentally screwed up because they was too scared to tell y'all it's some boys beating them up at school every day.
But that's why when I
You know what I mean?
when I do any type of discipline, I try to like have a conversation like following it.
Definitely.
to tell him why I did it and like what I expected out of him, like to do better, like, or
I know
if
you
I
can
had
do
if I
better.
had better expectations, like
Yeah.
this why I got better expectations, because I know this not the type of kid you are, like.
Right.
Yep. Because I just had I was on the phone with my dad today talking about that. Like, and he was asking me about Jalen, and I was telling him like he getting to that age really where like he's starting to go into his own where he really don't want to communicate. Like it's just like the bare minimum. Like,
Yeah.
and I was just telling him like I'm just gonna keep it pushing no matter what. Like I'm gonna force some of the uncomfortable conversations, but I'm not gonna be overbearing. Like,
Yeah.
and
But you
I
got
don't
to,
want to
though.
smother him.
You
Like,
got to.
but I feel like that's where it's like as a parent, where I feel like my dad didn't do, where when I kind of rejected any sort of like anything because I was a teenager, he kind of fell back where it's like, nah, you really got to keep pushing. Like, and like, I'm not going to be overbearing, but we going to have these conversations and I'm going to force you to learn how to communicate, because I don't want you trying to be to yourself to turn into any type of depression, any type of feelings where you feel like I'm not there for you, or you
Right.
feel like nobody's around. Like,
And that's
so,
that's where the most like depression come from, when people think they're alone.
yup, when people think they're
Or
alone.
they don't got nobody who gonna listen to what they say. So you gotta be there, like, for that open communication, damn near no matter what
Yep.
it is, like.
Exactly.
But that also can go. That goes back to stuff we talked about before, like roles in a household, or
Yeah.
having that family. Like any kid that got like a man in their house, an uncle or dad, that's who the sports should be with. Like the mom shouldn't be trying to determine, like be that. She should be
Yeah.
a support system, but don't try to control that sports. That's like
Yes.
that's a man thing.
And yes,
And-
I agree
and-
with that 100%, because I feel like in households you still have gender roles, even if you live in two different households. Because my son got to an age where he was living with his mom, and then he got to a certain age, and it's like, okay, he at a point where he need to come and live with you. He need to learn more about being a man, things that you can show him that I can't show him.
Right.
And I'm going to trust that you're going to be able to take care of this.
Especially if both parents is in that child's life.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
because if both parents are active in the kid's life, like it shouldn't, like no parent should
It's
feel
still
either
roles.
way. Yeah, like no
Gotta be
parent should
roles.
feel either way if one person takes on more responsibility in one situation.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, you laid down and made this child, so you trusted them enough to make the child. Like, let's trust each other enough to make these decisions.
If two parents butt heads too much because of, a woman feel like she got to do everything, or a man got to feel like he got to do everything, then y'all mentally gonna mess up with y'all kid.
And it affects
And
the
he
kids
gonna
more than it
that
affects the
kid
parents.
miss out on so much because y'all mentally messing with y'all kid.
But that causes trauma.
It's like a back and forth. It's like
That
a seesaw.
causes trauma.
Over
yeah.
pride.
Because
Pride is the
one
biggest
minute we
thing.
cool, and then the kid
Yep.
cool, like, and then the next minute we ain't cool. So you trying to hold stuff that you blame me accountable with the kid too. So it's like a seesaw effect. Like,
Yeah.
And that mentally will put a
so
strain on your
I
kid.
got a question. One of y'all got y'all phone. What's the real definition of a mental illness?
The definition of mental illness.
Or what falls under that umbrella, basically.
Yeah. So basically, like mental illness is like a wide range of conditions that affect mood, thinking, and behavior. So then it goes into like you got depression, anxiety disorder, bipolar disorder, dementia, ADHD, schizophrenia, OCD, autism, PTSD. And that's just like the top things right there.
So anything that alter like a person's way of like thinking
Of
or
thinking.
moods.
Yep.
But-
Or
but-
mood.
At the same time, well, I mean, that's a tough situation because who makes that list of what mental illness
Doctors.
is? Because it's
Doctors.
every
I just feel like that's all of us. It's just levels.
I agree
of
with that.
mental illness.
I feel like
Because-
everybody can go through
all them things.
Mental-
certain
yeah,
things.
I
Like
feel like,
it's
yeah.
definitely
that
levels.
feel like life to me, but at the same time,
No,
for
I
real.
agree.
But
I
at
agree
the same
with that.
time, growing up, anxiety, what's that?
Yeah, see,
we didn't.
We
know
weren't allowed to
that
have
feeling.
anxiety when we was younger.
I don't think we knew what
Oh,
it was.
yeah,
I don't
and
think
no.
we knew. Yeah,
because we never went to the doctor to get like a diagnosis.
Yep.
Like
Yeah, because I know for a fact I had ADD, ADHD.
a lot of people,
I couldn't
all
pay
through
attention
school.
to
but our
nothing in
parents,
school.
like the shit that we used to do, like or growing up, like when people had shit going on, depressed, like our parents was so tough and wanted to make us so tough. Like it was like, boy,
You
shut
didn't
the fuck
see it.
up. Like ain't nothing
Yeah,
wrong
like
with you.
ain't nothing
like,
wrong with you. Like yeah,
Like that's
Because that's
That's
what
all
they.
it
But you
was.
gotta think that's
made
what
me-
they did.
That made me mentally tough. If I'm in school acting a fool, not paying attention to my work, then I'm gonna call your mama.
but it could have mentally
Hold
broke
on,
you too,
I'm
though.
gonna get on my work. Then hold on, we ain't gonna do that.
Yeah,
It
but
could've
some
hurt.
people is
It could
broke
have mentally
because
broke
of
you
it.
because if you was really like
yeah.
stressed or depressed and motherfuckers come at you like that, like bro, shut the fuck up.
But
Ain't
that
nothing
don't-
wrong with you.
That
Like,
don't make you. That don't train you to be like, yeah, ain't nothing wrong with me. Because if you feel like nothing wrong with you, then you gonna move like nothing wrong. But if I keep telling you got this disease and this disease, you need this pill and this pill, you gonna feel like you can't live without that. So it's levels.
Your body gonna feel like you can't
Your
live.
body-
That-
yeah.
But you still, like you said, it's
So
levels.
it's definitely
Yeah, it's levels.
levels.
It's levels.
Because I feel like certain situations like that where your parents tell you like you don't got this because my mom, like I got in trouble all through school for the same stuff. So I knew for a fact, like, and she knew. But she told me, like, I'm not taking you to the doctor so they can tell you got ADHD, ADD. Ain't nothing wrong with you. You need to go to work you need to go to school and focus. But I knew I couldn't focus. Like, so it's like
People grow out of ADHD.
I feel like they do, but then I feel like at the same time it's like maybe she didn't want me to feel like I needed a crutch, like
or you was
Yeah,
less,
or you was
less of a
different.
kid than
or
Yeah,
less of it. Yeah.
Yeah, but if you would have started taking pills for that, you probably possibly could have still been on them pills to this day and feel like you.
That's
can't
what I
live
was
Yeah.
gonna
without
say.
Or he possibly did need them pills though.
But
now he
yeah.
feel like he can't live without them. So it's
It's
yeah,
go
yeah, it
because
could go
I
both
work in
ways.
I work in mental health and where I work at, bro, motherfuckers come there faking sometimes, and when they start getting on them
But that
medication
medicine-
and all them pills and shit, like it really turn a motherfucker into like some serious shit. Like
yeah.
See,
when
that's
you start
scary.
taking all them medications, bro, like that it fuck you up.
It can fuck you up.
If you
sure.
don't got that type of illness for real.
Okay,
Yeah,
then-
because it
it's-
counters
it's
the
medicine
counteract.
supposed
it's
to
supposed
balance
to
you.
balance you.
Yeah, it's supposed to balance you.
So when you really not fucked up and you taking all
So
the
why are they
medication,
But that's
Faking,
my
though.
biggest problem with
see,
kids.
I work in a psych facility.
Kids
so
switch
people-
every year. So for you to tell me my son or daughter is diagnosed with this, it's tough for me because they can grow out of that stage. You get what I'm saying? Like I would
feel that way,
rather
too.
it happen at a certain age, like I don't know, mid-teens.
But
Not saying it's wrong or right. Whoever do what they do with their kids, that's fine. But I just don't know.
But
I just
what-
can't.
I
You see,
gotta
like you
ch-
feel like
I
you want to let it take time, like motherfucker grow out
but
of it.
it take time.
But what if
we
it
just
get
was
worse?
speaking- we were speaking on that
But
show
then
we
it can
watched.
watched.
hold.
Show.
But then it
As
can
It
hold
could get
them back.
real, and now you in a bigger predicament. Like,
As
Yeah.
a kid that's growing up, that's a development stage, so you can develop their mindset to be stronger.
yeah,
mentally
and that too. That's what I was
stronger.
gonna go off.
But
of.
the
Like you
mental
said-
illness can grow stronger too.
Yeah, it can.
Also.
But like you said, when you just said that, use it as a kickstand, it can use you to be stronger as a person. Like
Right.
I could not fight this, but I know how to deal with what I'm doing, or this is not the move I want to take.
Yeah. I know
I
people.
focus
I know
with
people who
this
took
and not
medicine
that.
for for certain stuff.
I feel like-
certain things like that, and then it was like once they got older, they like, okay, I understand what this is. Like, I really don't even need this. Like,
right.
so like I get it because like I have a child
Right,
that was diagnosed with ADD,
right.
and I'm pretty sure stuff like that is genetics. So I'm
Right.
pretty sure this where it came from.
Mhm.
So it's one of them things where it's like I kind of rather nip it in the bud now and let you figure out what's going on and let you figure yourself out, and then I feel like that'll kind of help somebody grow.
Did
But-
you do that because of how you was raised?
No.
Because I ain't
you
gonna lie,
did-
I
I
feel
did
like
it because her mom did it because of behavior in the classroom.
I feel like it's easy for a normal person to tell a person who got something going on that
That they don't.
got
Yup.
nothing going on.
Yep.
Like it's
That's
easy.
just like
It's
with the
easy for
suicide
us. It's
thing.
easy for us to say, "Nah, bro, you can live with this or you can get through it," because we not going through it.
Right.
So for a person that's really going through it,
Yep.
like, and you telling them like, "Nah, you gonna be good," like, come on, like, you got this, and the motherfucker really can't.
But that's
Yeah.
why I said at a certain age,
that what you
because
supposed to
Nah.
do?
I feel
Yeah,
like
but
the age
if a
don't matter
motherfucker
because
really going through a
like,
mental
what if some-
illness, they going
Right.
through it.
But a
Because if
kid not
somebody's
looking
really
at it like they're different.
But think about depression or suicidal thoughts. You can't talk somebody out of that, or you can't tell me that I don't feel suicidal, that I don't feel wanted. If I
that's why I
was
said it's
suicidal,
levels.
But-
because
Right.
suicidal different than
What-
saying
what
Most people
I
who
don't
gonna
pay
commit
attention.
suicide ain't gonna tell you, but they
Because I'm
gonna
gonna explain something to y'all. Some people pay attention to like you said you couldn't pay attention in school. You said you couldn't. Shit, I don't remember shit in school. The fact, but on that basketball court, I paid attention. So it's like what you want to pay attention to. Some people like
levels.
use it as levels, and I feel like it ain't excuses, but it's more of a this just ain't what I want to do in life. Like what you trying to teach me.
but that's why I
and-
agree with the levels. That's why I agree with saying it's levels to
Okay.
certain things, because that's like saying somebody shows signs of mild autism versus somebody who has autism.
right.
Yeah, I
Like,
think, yeah, it's
I feel like it's definitely
It's a
levels.
but it's a label.
because I
that-
could say I'm depressed, but it can really be a motherfucker that's really depressed. Like,
On that-
and
on that
I feel like
edge.
I'm
Move.
depressed because
Right.
I'm just going through simple life shit. Like,
Right.
but it's people who really out there like depressed and can't break depression.
Yep.
right.
Like, and really need like a medication
really-
to
yeah,
help
really
them.
can't-
Like,
Yeah.
So
that's
y-
why
y'all,
it's levels.
I
y'all
share
both
this.
work in the mental.
yeah, that's why
Right.
I know this shit real, bro. I work in mental health. I see this
It's
shit.
real.
But do
every
y'all
day.
ever see somebody y'all feel like with some help they could have
No.
not been here?
I feel like
Or do
I
you feel
see.
like they had to be
no,
here?
I feel like I see motherfuckers who I thought was normal until
The
they start
medicine
till
don't
they
take
not on the
effect.
medication.
Like
the
they
medication
are
ain't
left
effect.
and come
Oh,
back.
It go to a whole nother
So-
level.
and you be
So
like,
Steve-
that's
hold on.
really him?
So
it make 'em
Steve and
worse
Chaz,
or better?
if they not on the medication, it make them worse.
Gee, it's like you, okay, it's like me. You know who I am.
Right.
And I just meet you after, you ain't know I took medicine, but after a week, and I'm acting a fool. I'm acting, I'm just fooling. Like, I'm
be
ready
like,
to
"What
fight
the
you.
fuck?"
I'm mad at life. You gonna be like, what the fuck wrong
Like,
with
you was
Steve?
just normal. He was just normal last week.
yeah.
But it's just like a chemical imbalance.
And,
like,
and that's why I want to ask y'all this, because it say things that know that what causes mental health are genetics, environment, stressful events like losing a loved one, being in a car accident, childhood trauma, negative thoughts, unhealthy habits like not getting enough sleep, not eating, which really ties into like a lot of people's depression, drugs and alcohol abuse, and like brain chemistry. So like you said, real quick, like
Go
you
ahead.
said with the people and the patients that y'all see, you see them acting normal, and then you just start seeing them flipping out. That could be brain chemistry,
Right.
and that could be genetics, because everybody brain ain't made the same.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like it's kind of hard for people to understand people who don't go through that. It's hard for people to understand people that really do go through it, that they don't even know what they go through.
I used to not believe like the mental health and shit, bro, until I start working in it. And I'm like, man, this shit is real.
This shit real.
Can I say this?
And
Because I feel like it's really a strength of, I don't know, of your mind, because
It's not.
I feel like
you can't control it, bro.
All right, but hear me out with
Some
this.
stuff you can't control.
Hear me out with this.
You can.
Say if you grow up with nothing.
Your mind is a
and
muscle.
and you become homeless.
Yep.
And that's your everyday life. You're used to it. You don't feel down. You don't feel depressed. This is life. But if somebody who had everything got down to their level, they will go
They'll
through
break.
that depression.
Yeah, they'll
They
break.
a mind. They a
that'll be
mind to
real
go
depression.
crazy. So that's my thing. Like, so it could be two homeless people on the streets. One could have been living his whole life like this and mentally strong.
He's
and know
okay
how to
with
survive.
that. Yeah.
And this one could have came from everything and mentally can't stand it.
Right.
So let me ask you this: was the person who lived homeless their whole life? They might not have a mental illness. They just might not
That's
have
just
no
normal.
money.
Yeah,
So I
it's just-
feel like they got
it's
strong
it's
because of
normal
what
to
they
them.
went through, right?
Yeah.
But some stuff normal that's not normal to other people. Like just because like a millionaire, they have their problems is different problems than our problems.
Right.
So if when they be like, oh, I'm depressed because my Lamborghini couldn't get painted today, like, or they really feeling some type of way about that. We look at
it
and
like,
be
man,
like,
get the
what?
fuck
It's
outta
definitely
here, like,
different.
We
'cause
eating turkey
back
sandwiches.
in the day, you used to see somebody on the street talking to they say, like, man, that's a crackhead.
Nah, that's
But now,
schizophrenia and all type of shit.
now you
Schizophrenia.
see somebody on the street just standing there talking, like, man, I'm praying for them, because you don't know what they're going through or what they came from.
I wanted to double back on what you said, genetics, and you said environment.
Mm-hmm.
If you in an environment, you think it's normal. When we walk into work and we see people talking to themselves, it's normal to us. Like we see it every day. So when you grow up in a hood, you see certain stuff. That don't mean it's not affecting you as a person. So that's where mentally ill can get different. Like how you said, like when some people hear gunshots and be cool, like sitting here like this. We hear gunshots, we like, what's going on?
So guess what? That's where the PTSD ties in too.
Right, which is a mental
and
illness.
And I feel like that, and that's why once you start looking into it, a lot of it does tie in with each other, because somebody can grow up in an environment that they think is normal. Then, like you said, take this person that had a misfortunate situation
and they break
and get put into this situation. Mm-hmm. That causes depression.
And I think genetics a big thing also, because a lot of people don't understand or know or even do they research to know that my great grandma had this. You know what I'm saying? Like my aunt was this same. So
It's
that's
the
where
same
it
thing
come
as
from.
like having cancer. Like,
cancer
running my family.
It's genetics,
Like,
right?
It's a genetic.
Just
But
like
a lot,
twins running your family.
a big
like,
part of it be traumatic experiences too.
Yeah.
Like a person growing up seeing a traumatic experience, like, or a person growing up going through a traumatic experience. So when they get to a certain point, like,
just break.
it just break.
That's why.
or
not knowing it's traumatic.
or
Some
if
people
they
think
see
it's
something
normal.
is normal.
Or
Yeah,
if they
some
see
people
something,
think it's
it bring back them
you
old
dreaming
days,
about
like,
stuff.
You can grow up and see people getting shot or see
That's
a
what I was
dead
about to
body,
say, yeah.
and it's normal. And you can have somebody that's not from the same environment see that happen, and they'll lose their mind.
Right.
They won't know how to handle.
So that's where
seeing
you get. That's what
you
you talk about
normal-
was
yes.
strong. And
Yeah,
I get.
stronger.
Okay, I understand
Yep.
what you saying.
Mentally, I feel like my mom made me mentally tough
For the
because she
world.
knew the world we was coming into.
And
Yeah,
that's
'cause
what I feel
it
like.
It wasn't
knew
like
where
this,
we-
bro.
It wasn't. But
So-
that's what I feel like we get away from with this new generation of kids. It's like I feel like we sensitize them too much.
A scapegoat for everything.
I feel like
Yeah,
when
instead
he,
of dealing with certain
when he was
things.
like back in the day, if you see somebody like talking to themselves, like we ain't know what it was, but now it wasn't a lot of diagnosis either.
Nah,
that-
like
like,
you
it
said,
wasn't-
you'd be like, damn, that crackhead
but
tripping.
they
Like,
really was fucked up.
Yeah.
Like
That didn't have no help.
motherfuckers be hearing voices and all types of
Ashley
shit.
Leary
like,
needed to get help.
That's why I know is sometimes mental, like I said, it could be passed down, but sometimes like people go to army, they see things that it's not normal.
Right.
Even if a person from the hood go over there to fight a battle or a
Yeah.
war and see stuff that they never
that they've
seen,
never seen.
and it bothers them. But some
Yeah,
people are
that's
mentally
PTSD.
Strong enough for
some-
that.
Are they mentally crazy? Because some people like that.
But
see,
your brain is
I
is
don't-
a muscle.
I don't
I'm
feel
talking
like
about
that
you
makes
can train your
anybody-
brain.
I don't feel like that makes
an
anybody
army
crazy.
person. An army person. Some army guys that love that. They love going to war. They love that. Just like some guys in the hood love shootouts.
Right.
So are they?
That
is
ain't
mental
normal,
illness?
bro. That ain't
I
normal.
feel like there's still PTSD.
But is that a mental illness?
It's just on a different
It's
level.
levels.
It's
It's
on a
levels
diff-
to
it's
a
on a
mental
different
illness.
level.
It might be
It's a
partial,
seesaw,
But for you
bro.
to love it or
for you
like
to
it,
love that, like
Yeah.
nah, bro.
I feel like
Because I know people like who really say they get a thrill out of killing people.
For you to love,
but you get
taking
thrill
a
off of
person
stealing,
life, bro. Come
Some
on,
people
bro.
Yeah.
get thrills off of certain things, like
we-
making money, or you get a thrill.
Oh, a
You
thrill
can
of
abuse
taking,
all
a
of
thrill
it.
of taking people's life. That's a different type of level.
It's a
Yeah, that
thing.
is.
It's generate.
That is. That's
Every
wrong.
generation you ever think of, every year in life, every century, there's always been like a hitman, mafias,
And
anything.
I feel like they was all crazy, bro.
but they
Like,
only did it for money. They wasn't just killing on the regular. They was doing it for
But-
money.
and they
You know
was
what, though?
raised to do it.
Like
right. So
some-
are they
some
mentally ill, or are
they
they
ain't-
just
they ain't mentally sane.
I
They
feel
may
like-
be.
Do
I
you
feel
think?
like-
Do you think that if they was brought up that way, is that regular?
That's
life
just
to them?
installing something. That's like installing racism
I
in a
feel-
kid. You
I
can
feel like-
install that
My point
until
exactly.
But I
some
feel
kids
like
be
it
strong
goes-
enough to make their own choices. But at the same time, most of us is not, especially at certain ages, not going against our moms.
We can't
Right,
say it's
but
what they
mentally
saying.
I feel
ill
like,
because
no.
we don't find it regular.
You
And
can't
in
say
their mind
you
it's
can't say it's
regular.
you
But
can't
when
say
we
it's
looked
mentally
up the
I feel
sane.
like that
definition,
but I
right,
feel like
right,
that goes back
right.
to brain chemistry.
Okay,
It
just
goes
like
back to brain chemistry.
just like if LeBron raised his son to be a basketball player, that's normal. Now, what if I was a hitman and raised my son to grow to be a hitman?
Whoever was
That's-
raising the kid ain't mentally
that's
sane.
normal.
right. Yep. Yeah. It just
normal
goes
to the
back-
kid.
It's normal to the kid,
Yeah,
right?
but-
saying. Yeah.
So, but is that kid mentally ill, or
The
is
person,
that his,
the person
is that
teaching
how he
them,
was raised?
the
You
person
see what I'm
teaching
saying?
them ain't mentally
He
sane.
messed
I'm not
up
saying
his-
we talking about that kid.
The kid,
But
the
I
kid
feel
just
like-
follow. The
he
kid
said
just
it can
following.
get passed down, basically.
Yeah.
The way you raising a kid can get passed
It
down.
can.
how
My
you
point
act.
exactly.
I feel
So
like
we
it's an
can't call
illness,
them
just like you
mentally
can pass
ill.
a
But
sickness
it's
to
more
somebody,
it's
bro.
more life to mentally ill. What his definition was all that stuff. When he teaching him that, he's teaching him different stuff that can cause PTSD.
He
traumatic
he
effect.
causing a mental
So
illness
he's
on the
calling
kid.
it,
bro.
Yeah.
causing it to.
That's just
be
like
that.
passing a
Some
virus to
daddies,
somebody. Like,
some daddies teach their kid to get ready for the army and war.
Hell nah, bro.
They
You ain't teach your
do,
kid
bro.
to go out here and. I mean, you
to
can
fight for the country.
You
It,
can't
that's
fight
something
for
that they
all
feel like
fight,
is
fight
right.
for your country is different. For a motherfucker to just go out here and just willingly killing, bro, taking people's lives like
For
like it's
nothing, yeah,
normal.
that's a problem, bro.
Bro,
That's a
that's-
problem.
that's a fucking
But people
illness.
kill
Even if
for
it's-
money.
but-
People kill for family. It's a
For their
lot
country.
for their country. So
I'm gonna just be honest, bro. I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm
bro.
not killing for no money.
we're
And I'm
not.
And I'm not. Hold on.
You wasn't
I'm not,
raised
right.
like
Go
that.
ahead. Go
and
ahead.
I'm
go
not
ahead.
killing for my country.
So I'm with you. You went it straight. No, everything is a no.
I'm not doing.
with
I'm
you.
not doing either one now for my family or to
That's-
protect
yeah,
to
to
protect
protect.
myself
That's
or
only
protect my
how.
family
I
or
would.
something like that.
That's going to mess
That's
with
different.
you mentally.
It might
It
mess
I don't
can.
care if
It
it's
can.
self-defense.
It might.
I'm willing to accept the consequences
I'm
if
willing
I
to
have to
accept
defend for my
I
family.
am too, but
But
it's
I'm
gonna
not willing
mentally
to.
mess with you.
I'm not willing
Yeah,
to
for
like.
sure.
All right, huh, bro? Here go 10,000, bro. I know you need it. Go out here and kill such and such. No, I'm not.
That's
my mind
you.
ain't just.
That's your
But I'm gonna
mind.
tell you, social media. It's a lot of stuff why people want that money. Like money is the root of all evil. I'm telling you,
It really
money
is.
a bad thing. Like it can control
really
people's
is,
minds.
man. It can
But does
control-
that make you
money
mentally
can control
ill?
your mood, what you do, how you move.
So money causes mental illness.
It
For
really
sure.
does.
It does. I feel like
Money,
that's a, I feel
Unless,
like
social
unless
media.
you never had it and you grew up
Because
without
guess
it.
what?
All the way
It
to your,
can cause
to your adult.
Money can cause depression like a motherfucker.
For
Yep.
sure. It's
Like,
a mother.
I'm
My
not
nigga
gonna
went
lie.
through it like a motherfucker.
No, for real. Because
But
just
Bruh.
your broke wasn't,
A normal broke.
yes,
you
it's
know,
level.
but-
you know
you
how
know-
many people go through depression because they can't pay their bills and shit. Bro?
Yeah.
I'm saying, I'm
Like,
saying it's
And some
levels.
people be like, "Oh, that's their fault.
It's
They
levels.
ain't do
Bro,
this."
money causes depression.
I was always
Yeah.
taught,
And adults.
long as your bills,
Bills
paid,
paid.
you good.
Boy, you cool.
And-
Sit your
but
ass in
if
that
you
house.
can't, but what if you can't pay them bills?
It will stress
That's
you
what I'm
out.
saying. That shit
It's
causes
tough.
depression, and it'll like
It
you
alter
said,
your thinking.
like it alter your and it'll make you do stuff that you normally wouldn't do.
Yeah.
But for us not to get to that point, that's why I feel like our moms or dads or whoever was raising us taught us to be the best you can be and fight through certain shit rather than just putting a blanket over it. Because you can be like, I can't pay. That's like me coming to one of y'all. I can't pay my bills this month.
I feel like
Y'all
it-
got your own bills. Y'all can be like,
it's-
nigga, what you been doing?
it's
Right.
it's a lot of levels because it could be passed down
Yep.
or what you go through. But then, like I said, my mom grew up with 2 parents in the house, 7 kids. They didn't have a lot of money. So what people get depressed over, that was their life. You know what I mean?
It's normal, but you gotta think that's normal.
It was normal.
It's normal to
my
some
kids
people.
eat lobster and crab
Bruh,
legs.
I
and
never
shrimp.
knew what
I
the
eat
hell a
turkey
crab
sandwiches.
leg was till I got
My
grown.
nigga.
Till I
bro.
got
used to eat
grown.
None of that shit.
At the cookouts, bro, I wasn't even allowed to touch a rib, my nigga.
A Capri
Facts.
Sun and the
Bro,
real hood.
what?
Get
We
it.
had the Huggies and the Fagos.
Now,
That's all.
And the
now,
Fago, yeah, bro.
at
It
a
was
cookout,
25 cents.
It's 1,000 of these full half pops. It's a
Yeah.
whole bunch of half pops, half water sitting on the
All right,
table.
so now I'm gonna ask y'all this: so y'all kids growing up with this certain lifestyle,
They gonna want to keep living that lifestyle.
So-
we take it away from them, it's
I
gonna
hope so.
break them. It
I
can
hope,
break them.
I hope I'm instilling in my daughter, if you want to live like this, you got to work hard to get
Yep.
it.
And that's the only way I could be with it right now.
But
is
I'm
the
also
fact that
gonna
it's like,
spoil her, too.
okay.
I was about to say
I feel
that's
like-
the problem.
So
Well,
it's not.
You're
feel-
gonna
I feel
no,
like-
it ain't a problem, but you're gonna always be there for she won't fall.
I appreciate going through that struggle.
Me too.
Like
Now.
And
like,
I hope that
I
I'm
never
up the
I
ante.
never really like had to like struggle where I ain't have shit. But I saw my mom like busting her ass,
To
like
make
going
it
to work
happen.
and doing shit, like making the shit happen.
Yeah.
I never understood. Listen, my mom, I used to put the shoes on the screensaver of our computer. I need these shoes, man. Like that's all I need. $140 back in the day. She used to raise.
132 plus tax.
It was 140.
Yeah, that's
Like,
140
that's what I
for
do.
sure.
She used to have a fish fry and for me to get to 140. So now me growing up, I'm thinking like, after she paid for them shoes, we was back broke.
Now you know that now.
I know that
Yeah.
now,
You ain't know
but
that back then.
damn, she probably bought the shoes when she was happy as long as I was happy. But you know how much stress that probably put on her
Yeah.
Oh, God.
that people don't understand. Like I didn't
Don't.
understand it.
Yeah,
But
that is a
but
Like,
that's
what?
why
you
but
back
that-
broke.
Yeah, you
Because
back broke.
adults go through some shit for their kids, bro.
And then it'd be a lot of stuff that parents go through that we make sure the kids never
Don't see.
And I just hope growing up, like as a father, that all the things that I did for my kids, I just hope that that builds them up to just basically up the ante.
Right.
Like this what my dad did. So let me make sure I do this and go above and beyond.
Because
Like,
now, like as a parent, like it make you think, like, damn, like I really hope what I taught my kid, like, was the right thing, and that they grow into really do something.
Doing that.
Yeah.
Like because I know that's how my mom and them felt. Like
Yeah.
I'm raising these.
That's
kids,
why I'm doing
like,
it.
and I hope
Yeah.
that I'm raising them right. Like
Right. Cause we learn every day. Ain't no way, ain't no perfect way to parent, especially co-parent.
I learned once I had a child to stop being about me. So even now that I look back on my mom, like now I appreciate her way more than I used to because
Yeah.
my mom would work all day. She wasn't there to wake me up. She'd yell, "Get up,
oh God.
Yeah.
get to school." Now if your mom working all day, you go to school, you come home, she ain't get home till late. Who is there to raise you other than outside?
Yep. And the people around your peers.
And she did everything she could to give me what I wanted. Like that's why
Yep.
I got a different appreciation. And I say she instilled this toughness to me, which I be trying to give my daughter, but I can't overdo it.
Right.
It's
You know
tough.
what I mean?
It's a balance. It's a balance because, like you said, like even with my mom, like a lot of things I didn't realize until I was grown and have an adult conversation with my mom. It's like, man, listen, you was always at a babysitter, or you know, you was being watched, or I had to work, or I was tired because I was working 2 jobs. Like I never wanted to be on the system. Like I never wanted any of that. Like, you know, so
my mama
I-
had 2 jobs my whole life too.
yeah, and it was just
Real,
one of
yeah.
them things
It's
where it's
real.
like you really don't notice until you get older, and then you start thinking
Right,
back
right.
on the stuff like,
Because
oh, this really was
us as
going
parents
on.
now, we don't think about it.
Nah.
We just go buy shoes.
But
We
you
just-
always knew,
you-
like, you can go to your parents, like, and they really 9 times out of 10 they was gonna make it happen.
Yeah, they gonna make it
Yeah.
But
happen.
They was
it
gonna
depends. It
try.
depends on which parent you went to too.
But
because when
yeah.
you're in a household with 2 parents, it's always that one who you can go to, like, and be like, "Hey, I need this," like, and it's that other one who be like, "Hell,
Right.
nah," like.
But-
See, but that's why I
think
said
about the
family
house-
is a big thing. I went to my
It
aunts
is.
for shoes. I went to my
I
brother
ain't
for
never.
shoes.
I don't think
Oh,
I ever
God.
did that.
See, I
I
had
didn't
all
either. I
that.
always
I
had-
never thought about doing that because I never wanted nobody to think nothing of my mom.
Like, damn, she ain't got it.
Yeah, I never did that.
I
Only
never
people I
wanted
would
to, like,
add, bro.
ever make her feel
it was my
embarrassed.
dad
She
doing
did
all
everything
that.
try to make
I
it
used to
look good.
always see. I wasn't my brother. I used to always go to him. I was in high school though. By that time, I can go to him because my dad used to just give me whatever. Then my brother started getting me whatever. So it was like, shit, moms, if you don't get it for me,
Right.
I'm
I'm gonna call
so
somebody.
Think about all y'all situations, how all y'all parents made it happen.
Mm-hmm.
But then think about all the people who asked their parents for stuff
couldn't
and
make
they
it.
couldn't get it.
That shit heartbreaking.
That's,
Like,
and
that's
that's
they
the thing.
depressed when they don't have the
It's
new
the-
Jordan.
And it caused different feelings and emotions.
that's why I
where it's
said like how our kids now, bro. Like we raising our kids to have the best or do the best. So those expectations always gonna be like the best expectations.
Right.
yeah.
But when a motherfucker fail, like you got to teach your kid too. Like when you fail or you don't achieve, like to the point you want to achieve, like you can't just give up.
yeah.
Right.
Like because when you once you give up or get to a point like you fail, like that shit causes like a motherfucker to be stressed out, depressed.
Mhm.
Like you got to just keep going.
But
You
we
do.
got all multiple kids, except y'all both got one kid. It's different ways you teach different kids. So I can yell at my son. My daughter really don't need the yelling. She might just need the pat on the back to be like, you can do this. I
That's from
believe
you
in
though.
Yeah, that's why I said it take a family.
That's why I say
'Cause
it,
my daughter
different,
act double her
because
parents.
their mama might
That's
yell at
different
them
parents.
and get on their ass. That's why I said you need somebody to run to always, especially when you have two, like you said, two families. Two parents
Two
that's
parents.
active. One gonna be that hard, on that. And usually, growing up, is you if you have two. Usually, it's the mama that be like, man, you got. Some, and the daddy be like, all right,
I got
you."
yeah. I'll
Like,
make it happen. Yeah.
I know how she is.
But at the
Like,
same time, it's usually the dad where your mom be like, well, I'm gonna tell your daddy.
Yeah,
Oh,
they be
no.
scared.
No,
Yeah, they be
no.
scared.
it's that
Yeah.
respect.
But
But
that's how my son is.
A kid can look at their parent, at the certain parent, and stop. They mentally already know, yo, Pops ain't about to play. He ain't got to
Right.
say nothing. He can just look at me
Right.
a certain way, and that's the end of
But
that.
Pop's gonna give you everything.
Let me ask y'all this: mental illness, is it a difference between black mental illness and white? Like, do we go do different things to make? I feel like this is me personally, and
Trauma is mental
I hope this
illness.
don't offend nobody. I feel like black people don't know they going through mental illness like a white person would know.
Only
Yeah.
because we was always taught and I'm gonna just say
To turn
trained.
the
I'm
other
gonna say
cheek.
trained to be so tough.
Right.
Like
Okay,
we
yeah.
can't show like a emotion or we can't be too vulnerable like
Especially black men.
a
Yeah.
black man for sure.
So you have to be raised tough.
So a lot of black men really do got mental illnesses, like, but it's just like motherfuckers is hidden because we was always taught to be so tough, like, and so not vulnerable. Like you can't open up too much or you gonna be soft, like,
So-
or
Yeah, so let me ask you this. What do you think about black men getting counseling and getting the type of therapy
I
that
think
they
that's
need?
good. I think
It's
it's
needed.
a great thing.
It's needed.
I never went to therapy, but it was a time where I was like, damn, I'm about to go to therapy, like, because I feel like I need somebody to just talk to outside of the normal people who I
Yeah.
talk to, like just an outside person, like
Yeah.
who I can just express my feelings that
don't
I'm
know
going
nothing
through some
about
shit that
you.
don't know
And that
nothing
won't
about
judge
me,
you,
and that
yeah.
just want to that'll just listen.
Yeah.
Like, so I feel like that's needed. Like,
I feel like it's needed too because as a teenager, going back to what we was talking about distancing yourself away from your parents and stuff, like when I did that, like my mom and my stepdad made me I had to go to anger management and I had to go to counseling like every week.
but a lot of black men probably don't do it though, because motherfucker be like, oh, he crazy.
I
Right.
don't think it's
And
that.
it
I
was-
think
Did that help you?
It did. It did. As much as I didn't want to go, I guess the way that they train professionally, like
I
they
think
kinda
that's
get to
most
the
of the
root.
problem
me-
we
me
don't
and him
know.
just had a conversation
We
about
had a
this
debate at work.
A debate at work. He
What was it?
asked. He asked,
Just because
do you trust a therapist because they went to school for
No,
it?
no, I don't because
And I asked him, do you trust a doctor because they went to school?
so Okay, to
Yeah,
answer
well,
the doc-
you gonna have to think. Think about
listen,
it.
listen,
I don't
think
really
about it.
think
I'm
you
about to-
gotta
hold
think.
on.
You don't have to
I'm about-
think.
Because he
That's-
had me
I'm about
stuck.
to
Oh,
answer your
shit.
question. When you go to a doctor and you go get treated, what do they call it?
What you mean?
Like when you go to the doctor and they say, "Oh, this doctor is they say this doctor is doing what on you?"
Practice.
Practice.
I don't think. I just don't.
We
I
just
don't-
had that conversation.
So
That's
look,
how I
so
know.
this how I feel.
It'd be a
I
little-
feel like-
practice mean like it's different. It's not like I'm going to practice. Like
But this is
that's
the thing,
not
though.
what that means. A practice is like a term.
Explain.
It's like a doctor term for doing like an examination or something like that. It's
I
not like
get it.
I'm going to practice for a game.
I get it.
Like,
but look, though,
motherfucker ain't saying
when-
like I'm
when
about
you-
to
hold on,
practice
hold on,
so they
hold
can
on,
practice on you.
Yeah,
real quick.
like, that ain't
when
what
you
they
go
mean.
to a doctor and they malpractice, they most likely don't get sued.
You got to sign because
Exactly,
sign
because
a waiver.
because it's like this. Like I look at it. I look at a
there's a
doctor.
possibility they don't know.
They don't know,
That's-
or they
that's-
might get it
so
wrong.
I'm gonna ask you
Do
this:
you trust it?
Do you trust a doc? Do you trust a doctor?
Let me
Yes.
answer that.
I
I don't all the time because
like
So
just
why do you
like-
go?
Go
Just
ahead,
like just like couples.
I feel like
some
this. I
couples
feel
go
like
to-
if I go to the doctor, I'm asking for
second opinion.
expert opinion.
So
That's
if you
all.
go to a therapist, you asking for an expert opinion too. So what's the
So-
difference?
when
it's hit or
couples-
miss. I feel like
it's
if
a
I
hit
go
or miss.
to if I go
that don't
to a
mean I'm gonna
therapist-
believe. I'm gonna take it into consideration.
Yeah.
So
and
my
I feel
thing-
like
my-
what I did, what I feel like when I went to anger management and when I went to therapy, I feel like it worked.
So like when I explained to him, you don't just become a doctor.
Right.
You
And
can't.
that's
You
why-
don't
and
just
that's
you don't
why-
just know things.
Right.
You got to
Right.
research or do some type of schooling
Study in school.
or study.
So that's why, like, I would take a therapist, a doctor,
In consideration
into
over
consideration
the norm.
Do you
before.
always got to go to a doctor? Because
So that's back to my- that's back to my
get
question.
point across. Some couples can go to an older aunt that they trust and talk to an aunt, and she won't pick a side, and they'll be able to have that conversation to figure
But-
out their relationship.
That was
But
my
now-
They
point.
don't have to
Yeah,
always be a doctor.
But 9 times out of 10, the topic that you go to that aunt about, they already have their mindset on what they answer gonna be
because of their experience.
because
in life.
of them experience. So
Right.
when
Instead
you,
of-
the same thing
Yep.
if you go to a therapist or something, they might too. But
Well, I
it's
say
a
that.
non-judge
Therapists
it's
do
a
the same thing.
non-judgmental thing. So
because they not biased of
they
each
not
party.
Yeah,
That's
they
what
not
I feel
biased.
like.
Yeah.
It
So
don't
if you
really
go to
have
an
to be
aunt,
a
9
doctor.
times, a lot of times the aunt gonna be on the side of the person that they the aunt of.
Yep.
Or like
Most likely, unless they look at them like a nephew or niece.
Let me not.
Yeah, you got a
not
point.
not trying to offend y'all, but say if I had another child with another woman,
Right.
and I got to figure out how to balance two baby mamas. I will come to y'all. I wouldn't go to a therapist.
But guess what? If
I
you
will
came
come
to me,
y'all
But we
off y'all
talked about that
experience.
also.
if you
Go
came
ahead.
to
Come
me
off
with
your
your baby
experience, your
mama,
experience.
if you came to me with your baby mama about a disagreement or something, more than likely I'm gonna side with you though.
I wouldn't. If you and your girl came to me about something that y'all feel is right or wrong,
I'm gonna tell you my opinion.
I wouldn't side
but
with you.
I'm gonna tell you
would-
my opinion,
Right.
but I'm not gonna be like, oh,
Yeah.
she
But
right,
he gonna
bro.
take in consideration what he want to take in consideration.
I'm not just gonna pick your side because you my boy.
Yeah, me neither.
I feel like
That's,
I'm
That's
how,
how-
but I'm
that's
not
how
gonna
I was
pick her
raised.
side at all.
But-
because
yeah.
then I'll be like, damn, my
But-
nigga feel like I just
Right.
But-
did
My
some
aunt used to always
bullshit.
tell me this.
It
I'm a
ain't that,
woman
'cause
first.
if
I'm gonna
it's-
tell you,
if it's
Steve,
real
dead
love,
ass wrong.
It's real love.
Yeah.
Then I'ma
If
listen.
I love you,
Same with
I love
you.
your
You
girl
will
the
tell
same
me.
way, so I'ma keep it real.
Steve,
and I
don't
feel
know.
like vice versa. If I'm
But-
talking to any of y'all,
but
y'all gonna
if y'all
be real.
cheated, I would definitely lie for y'all. But
And I
if
feel
y'all
like
had an
you should-
argument,
But guess what?
I wouldn't pick a side. You see what I'm saying?
But
Yeah.
you can go to a therapist and cheat, and it ain't gonna be no side. You gonna just vent like, damn, I'm going through this, bro. Like,
Bro, I went to therapy one time
I haven't.
with my baby mama when we at the end when
y'all
we was
probably
trying
was in
to,
there arguing.
when we try to fix stupid. So look, and this stupid. This how bad it was. So when we walked in, it was a black dude with dreads. I say, you want to get a white woman or? Because I ain't want her to be like, it's two brothers. They gonna.
Side with each
Yeah,
other.
So when we got in there, we got the discussion. He was telling me what I was wrong, take accountability. When he started telling her what she was wrong for,
That's
she
what
broke
she
down
went with.
crying. Y'all ganging up on me. This is why I wanted a white woman.
Yeah.
Like I'm being, that's real though. This
Nah,
that was
no,
the
but
only
you
time
know-
with the therapy. That was the last time too.
I thought about that, like with your situation with having a baby by a white woman, like how co-parenting is, because my co-parenting is a lot different than others. So I wanted to ask you that. We'll talk about it one day, but I wanted to talk to you about that.
I mean,
And
my
like,
daughter
because
with me-
it's
with me
different
most of the
ways of
time,
raising. She was growing up different. You was growing up different. So I wanted to, understand y'all point of view. We'll get to that though. It might
Yeah,
cause
because that's
mental
an episode.
illness.
Because
some
I'm
certain-
mixed.
Right.
So
right.
I got a black parent and a white parent. And I was raised by my black parent in a black environment.
So
It depends on which family strong.
But genetics
My
got
side
something
of
to
the
do.
family
Right.
is probably stronger and more family oriented than her. So my daughter, 90% of the time, going to remember this side. She gonna
Yeah.
love this side, know this side, remember. But she gonna be like, yeah, this side, they holidays lit over here.
Right.
They do it just
Or
like
like even
just
as
like
a
if she go to
family,
their
like-
church
or
and
they
go to our-
food over
food.
here good. Like,
That shit hitting.
if she go,
got
they
season like
she can go to her mama church. And then she go to church with me and my mom. She be like, oh, no, they church. It might be long, but they be jamming.
Yeah.
You hear me?
And they be loud.
It's different, but
Yeah.
I can see what she attract to. And that's why even when I pick a school, I try to pick a school that's diverse for her.
Yep.
That's the only reason I sent her
Yep.
to a private school because
So-
it's more diverse with everybody.
So back to the question I asked you: is it a difference between
No.
A
No.
difference in what?
when I said about
Doctor
the
and a therapist.
Because a woman
Do you
will
trust a
walk,
therapist
a woman
because they
will
went to
walk out and
school?
tell you that
You
therapist
said
don't know what he's
but
talking
do
about.
you trust a doctor because they went to school?
Man, listen.
You take it in consideration.
I would take that into consideration more than asking anybody that I know because they're an expert at what they do.
But why when people tell you go get a second doctor's opinion?
Nobody's told me that, so I can't.
Everything
really,
you do.
Some people do.
Yeah,
I,
they do.
that's what I'm
I
saying.
feel
I've never
like
been told that.
I feel like they be doing it just like as a safe haven.
Right.
Like
For them.
they ultimately know that you got cancer, but they gonna tell you like,
But
all right, let's
everybody
get a-
is
Let's get a
different.
second expert opinion
But
to see.
sometimes the cancer don't be as far along as they say because some doctors are just more
But some
experienced.
some
with
that's what I was about to
certain
say.
things.
Some people are
So you gotta get a
experts.
second
Some people are
opinion.
experts at this. Some people are experts at that. Like some people might be expert as a cancer doctor. Some people might just be expert as like emergency doctor. Like
Right.
So
Hey, look, I ain't gonna perp y'all. I gotta use the bathroom. This the first time it's happening, but I'm going to the bathroom.
Hey, he on his drink champs, Nori.
Hey,
Let's do a quick
let,
break.
Let me say this though, because like with my dad, we weren't always close, and I never knew why. Right. So when he got cancer and got sick, and we sat in the hospital, we used to have real conversations. So then I found out the struggle he went through growing up and the things he went through. That stuff, hearing what he went through, that was so much like mentally like beat him down.
Yep.
I knew he loved me,
Yep.
but he didn't know how to show it.
But
Because-
can I say
because
I
of what
don't
he
mean
went
it,
through.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but I feel like that's a black man's struggle,
It is.
especially the generation before us.
it's like a tough love.
Yeah, it's like a tough love, and like the generation before them didn't show them how to love, so they can't properly love their children the way they supposed to because they was never taught that. They didn't know it, so it was only certain things that the parents did to show they love. Whether it's make sure you got food on the table, make sure that you got a roof over your head, make sure you got money, make sure you got money while you alive. Make sure they leave you something when they pass, money, property, anything like. But I feel like I can't, as an adult, as a man, I can't hold that against anybody before me because they lived a whole different life than we live now.
Like
It was
I
a
feel-
lot tougher. Look,
I
it
feel
was
like
way
some of them
tougher.
was living by themselves when they was 16.
That's why I say
Yeah.
nowadays you
That's-
got you
oh
gotta
my God.
kind of like be some type of sensitive towards your child. Like you gotta love on your child. Like
Yep.
I didn't understand. My girl be on that like she be trying to like I don't know. We call it babying, but it's just for real showing your child like love, like for real and
It
affection.
is.
because that's
like,
what it's supposed to be.
Be
Yeah,
like
tough.
they
You
really
tough.
need that. They really need it, but we be trying to teach them like to be so tough
Yep.
when they really do
just
need love. Like
because listen,
Yo.
we back. But to speak on that, like as a grandparent,
That changed him. A girl changed my
Yeah.
dad. Like it made him
yeah,
softer.
for
But
sure.
if he'd have got therapy at some point in his life, I think he'd have showed that same type of love to me that he showed to her. Because
Yeah.
when he seen her, he broke. He was like a whole different dude.
Yeah, because
I'm like, wow.
Yeah, and some of
that
that
was
I think
all the
it's like
love that he
yeah.
always wanted to show to you.
He showed to her, but I feel like sometimes it do skip a generation like that. Like imagine being a kid, and then I'm speaking as a grandparent that was a child at one point,
Right.
being abused, not being properly loved by your mom. Then you grow up to become a father,
Got your own path.
and you don't know how to properly show these kids love or affection
For
because
sure.
you was never taught.
So
His
you
daddy-
learn it.
His daddy was the same way to him. Didn't
So
he?
then
All he knew was toughness.
Yeah.
and
So
punching
then,
and making stronger,
right.
beating, making stronger.
Then it goes down to the grandkid. Then it goes down to your child.
So do you think the grandparent, the mistakes they made with you or they thought they made, they're trying to install that into the grandchildren?
Yep.
A lot of
I feel
mostly
like-
ones I've seen, they are better.
a lot of
grandparents
people,
than parents.
a lot of them just didn't know that was the wrong way.
Right. And then I
That's
feel
why I
like
said
as
we
they
live and
get
we learn
older, I feel
every
like
day with
as
parenting.
some grandparents get older, they try to fix the relationships from their children with their grandchildren.
Because it's a new generation and
It-
they see the
Yeah.
shit that they were
That they
supposed to
did
be
wrong.
doing.
And I don't see nothing wrong with that, like because like you can't hold people accountable for their mistakes forever. Like it's nothing wrong with forgiving people.
If you know you made a mistake, I feel like it's better.
Yeah.
If you come to me and say, I think this is what I did wrong.
But a
or
lot
I
of
think-
the older generation won't admit they wrongs. They just gonna try to fix it with their actions.
You know why? Like I said, they don't feel like they was wrong.
They don't feel
because
like they
that's
was
how
it was
wrong.
a
They
learning
didn't know.
situation, right.
Yeah,
Well, at the end of the day, mental health is real.
it's really real.
And I'm glad that
sure.
there's a lot of hotlines that you can call out there, and they giving kids outlets other than their parents, because some parents, we just don't understand. We don't know what they're going through.
So
Yes.
if you going through something and you don't know how to reach out to nobody to get through it, you could text 988, which is the new 911 for mental illness and suicide hotline.
Definitely.
So if you're going through something, make sure you text 988. A lot of people got text message or kids or whatever.
Don't be
y'all kids, like,
scared. Don't
if
be scared.
If y'all scared to talk to y'all parents or don't want to talk to y'all parents,
Somebody will
text
listen.
text the hotline number or
and
call.
no matter your age, man, you can talk to somebody. It don't matter how old you is,
Yep.
or you feel like you too old to do it, man. Mental health is real.
Shit, reach out to me. I'll talk to y'all.
For sure. Hey, listen, I definitely appreciate the people who reach out to me in my inbox about the things we talk about, because we just have conversations about the stuff that we go through, and then you don't really realize how many people that it do touch.
I
Like,
do. Somebody
sure.
somebody be affected by this. Somebody gonna be affected by it. And maybe if they're affected by it, they'll reach out. They ain't got nobody else to reach out to.
Yeah.
We open to
definitely,
talk to y'all or
I
whatever.
definitely talk to you, like, for sure.
Well, this has been another episode, 9 to 5 Crew Podcast with the gang, man. We out.
Yup,
Appreciate
yup.
y'all.